All right, Uncle Sam FM here, and this is, I believe, episode 5 of my Dynasty Builder save. And first of all, kind of big news. I was able to secure a pretty big loan. My scouts into Spain brought me a guy named Sergio Pena. Obviously, really good attributes for MLS. His physicals aren't great, but he's a center midfielder. So I don't need him to be, I don't need him to be super fast. I don't need him to be, big and strong. That helps in center mid, but for what I'm going to be having him doing, I'm really interested in his playing with the ball at his feet, and he is pretty good at that. Passing rating of 15. Vision 16, decisions 12, which is not super, but that's something that will improve. And I'm bringing him in on a 1-year loan. I was not able to get them to let me have a buy clause. I'm kind of hoping that maybe next year I can extend the loan. But he's going to be my number 10. He's from Granada in Spain. If he does well enough, probably they're going to take him, right? They're going to want him to play in their first team, because it's not like they're Barcelona and they've got a bunch of Sergio Penas. So it's a good pickup for me. 3.5 stars current ability, which it's not great, but he fits the attributes that I'm looking for. And he does have some developing to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm playing him obviously in my number 10, which previously was occupied by Tomas Martinez, who is, well, he's pretty good, but he does not have Pena's passing attributes. He's passing 14, which is lower. His vision is 14. And his decisions are actually 9. So what I'm going to do, I don't know why I didn't think of this before. I'm going to train Tomas Martinez as a striker. He's going to kind of be my Leo Messi, right? His finishing's not great at only 12, but I'm obviously going to develop that. Hopefully that goes up as I train him as a complete forward. So that's kind of what I've done, and what that's also done is by pushing Martinez into the front three. I'm now 2 deep, all across the front. So Max Steves is now he would be my third team striker, which is where I don't want him really on the squad, but I don't like just not having guys. So I'm going to let him play with my USL affiliate, Rio Grande Valley. But he's third now in the depth chart at center striker. And so that's a big signing. Pena is a big signing because it improves my first team, but it also makes me deeper. So that was a big signing. I'm also close to getting a guy, and we'll go to my transfers. This Jose Carranza was released apparently by the Atlanta United Academy, and he is a decent prospect in real life. So I traded for his rights, and I currently have a contract offer that I feel pretty confident he's going to accept. So I will be signing Jose Carranza and developing him. He can play on the right wing, play center mid. I'm thinking about maybe training him as a center mid, but I want to see him. I want to get him signed and get a look at him first. So that's kind of the news transfer wise, and that he will fill. We'll go to my registration. You guys will see I've got 29 of 30 players. I can have 30, and I have Carranza. I'm pretty sure I offered him a reserve contract, so that means that that'll give me 5. And what that'll mean is one of my senior minimum salary players he'll join the on budget roster. He'll be one of my regular squad. So it'll bump my salary cap up a little bit, but not much, $65,000. So I'll still be under the cap. I'm a good $250,000 a year under the cap. So So yeah, I feel like that's really helped my squad, and you can look at comparison, and you can see now, while my attributes are not whatever a lot better, it's still I'm in a little better situation, especially up front. So we'll see if I can stay organized, hold the ball, and finish my chances. This could be a decent season, right? Pena, I really wish I could get him long term. He's only 21, but I doubt I'll be able to bring him back. I mean, has he had any caps? Yeah, he's got 2 caps for the Peruvian national team. I don't know anything about him in real life, but he looks good in the game. So before we get into the match, we're gonna play Seattle. I'm gonna do that in a second. I have set up my team selections, and I like to try to use as much of the different components of the game as I can. And one of those is team selections. I'm systematic. I like to have a system for everything. I like to have everything kind of planned out, as pre-planned as possible. So I've got a first 11, and this is my first 11. Chris Seitz is my starting keeper. Boniek Garcia on the right. De La Garza and Machado center back. Lundqvist at left back. I've got Cabezas occupying the defensive midfield position. Darwin Soren is my right center mid, which that's the deep lying playmaker role. Then I have Sergio Pena playing the attacking mid, my number 10. My right forward is Romel Kyoto. My left forward, Albert Elise, and then center striker is going to be Tomas Martinez. I'm a little worried about how Martinez is going to do in the early going, because I literally made this decision. Well, I signed Pena like a week before registration, so Martinez has only played striker at 1 friendly, so he's got no time there at all. So we're gonna see how he does at striker, and hopefully, he can turn himself into a Leo Messi. He already, one of the kind of things that sort of made me made me realize he might fit this role well, is he's already got the comes deep to get ball player trait, which I like for my strikers to have, the center strikers, because I want them to drop into that hole in front of the back line. And the false 9 role in game doesn't do it as well as I'd like. And I've played with the deep lying forward role, but really the only time I've ever seen it even kind of work is when somebody has that comes deep to get ball player trait. So I'm going to play him as striker, see if it all works. So that's my first 11, and on the bench I've got Felipe and Remick, my right and left back, and then I've got Jared Watts. He can play the defensive mid position or center back if I need him. I have Eric Alexander, who is what you would call a number 8 midfielder. Well, for me, he's going to play as a number 8 midfielder, but I could also put him at the number 10 if I had to. I have Gil on the bench to fill in the number 10 role, and then I've got Alvarez and Menotes, who can play anywhere along the front. So that's my first 11. I also have a second 11, and this is where I sub in. This is just the backups, right? This is my second team. This is for midweek games, right? So if I have a midweek game and my first 11 has played over the weekend, I'll usually just play my second 11 in the midweek game. And that's a midweek league game. If it's a cup game, I've got a separate thing, and we'll see that in a second. One thing I also like to do is I like to set up a domestic 11. This is the best 18 domestic players that I have. I do that to help me set up my Open Cup squad, which I like to have. Well, I play to win the Open Cup, and the AI usually does not. The AI will play their best players on the weekend match, and so a lot of times they'll go into the cup game midweek and they're fatigued, so they either have to play tired players or backups. I go in with a plan. I want to win the Open Cup, and so I have an Open Cup 11, and I make sure that none of these guys play in a weekend match before an Open Cup game. So this is my 11. I use the domestic 11 to kind of figure out where the holes I need to fill are. So I've got Pena in center mid, and I've got Martinez in. Again, I'm really using the cup to try and train Martinez at center striker. Otherwise, I would have somebody like Cabezas in or Albert Elise. Cabezas, it was really hard for me to not put Cabezas in just because he's one of my best players. But I've got Seren who can play that defensive mid role, and then Alexander can fill the number 8 while Pena plays the number 10. So yeah, I go in with a plan. I want to win the Open Cup, and so I put the best 11 I have. And the reason, I guess I should set it up, I've said this in my other videos, but in the Open Cup you can only have 5 international players. So I got to make sure that the 5 guys I have give me the best 11 that I could possibly put in. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to put my 5 best internationals on, because sometimes, you know, maybe my best domestic left back is terrible, and so I have to play, you know, an international left back who maybe is not one of my top 5 internationals, but just to make my squad as good as it can be, you have to sort of adjust. And so so this is my Open Cup 11. I do also have a team selection for my youth 11. This is just my young players. The purpose of this is if there's a situation where a result is not essential, then I can get all these guys appearances. I can get them playing time with the first team. Obviously, you know, at the end of the season, for MLS, if you've clinched the playoffs or if you've clinched the Supporter Shield with a couple games left, maybe you want to try the Youth 11 out there. Let them get some minutes while your first team rests, prepares for the playoffs, so on. And so that's what I do. So with that said, we'll put back my first 11 because I am just going to play my straight up first 11. And our opponent today is Seattle, the Sounders. Seattle is one of the more talented teams in the league. You look at their squad, and goalkeepers, you know, not great. They got Stephen Fry. You have, defensively, let's see, right back, he's on loan, so Leardom he's a good solid left back. Svensson, good, he can play. Svensson is, you know, he's getting older, but he can play pretty much anywhere up the middle, in back line or midfield. Osvaldo Alonso has just absolutely harassed this league for forever. I'm pretty sure he's been with Seattle since, well, let's look at him. He's one of those hard tackling midfielders that, well, he dominates the middle of the field. Yeah, he's been with Seattle since 2009. And, you know, he does what he does well, which is win the ball. It's very physical. Obviously, they also have Dempsey, who is, you know, he's gonna make things happen, right? They've got Lamar Nagel, who, you know, he's also kind of getting up there, but he can play anywhere along the front. Will Adiro, who is a good left winger, and Victor Rodriguez plays any attacking midfield spot, and then they've got the young Jordan Morris. So Seattle is, you know, talent-wise, they're one of the better teams in the league, and I think going in, they won the 16 MLS Cup. So going by real life or whatever, this is, well, they're the defending champions, and so I get to play them in the first game. I don't think I got a team report. Yeah, I didn't get a team report on them, so, but that's okay. So let's see what happens. We're going to go into the first game here. I'm going to say number 6, but he is not a number 6 at all. So this is the first game of the season. We are kicking off MLS play for 2017. No big surprise with Alonso playing their number 6 role. Dynamo there at their number 8. Victor Rodriguez at number 10. They're not starting Dempsey, which is an interesting choice. And then Will Bruin. Actually, Will Bruin is a former Dynamo player, so that'll be a challenge. And then Fry in the goal. I feel like I need to start defensively, so I'm going to see how that works out. My guys still are not totally familiar with the tactic yet, which is a little disappointing. As you can see there, there's nowhere. I don't know. Some of that may have been caused by signing Pena so late, but hopefully it's enough. Okay, music plays. Here we go. And let's see if I can zoom a little bit here. Yeah. Oh, Pena, in his first match, commits the first foul. Oh, Bruin has a slight injury. So sad, Will. So sad. Seattle is a team that it is tough to possess the ball against. They're a good possession team as well. Truth is, most of the teams we play against are going to have better players than us. And we are weakest in the back, so that's maybe not a great situation. Seattle, Seren, Cabezas from Martinez. Martinez lays it out to Elise, drops it to Lundqvist, and let's build. Ooh, nice ball to Elise, cross, Kyoto, goal, and it's 1-0. Boom. That's how you start the season. Nice, well-worked goal. After winning a possession, find Elise, who crosses to Kyoto, heads it in, and the Dynamo are off to a flying start. I'm gonna look up my guys. Up to the long ball. Cabezas to Pena. Oh, nice through ball to Martinez. That's what I got Pena for. To lay off balls like that. If we get Martinez to where he can finish shots like that, that's going to be good. Ooh. Now, here's one thing about signing Pena. I'm only going to have him one season, probably. I'll try to get him again, but I can't see him because he's going to be productive for me. He's gonna lots of assists, and I get goals from my number 10. Not like a lot, but I get a few. So they'll want him for their first team next season. But so next year I'm gonna have to find somebody else for my number 10. Martinez. He's probably gonna be my striker. Probably not. Ooh, Bruin puts it wide. Thinking I might need to drop my back line a little bit. I don't like doing that, but yeah. So I'm gonna have to replace Pena, and I don't want to drop Martinez back. I mean, I guess it could be that I just have to, right? If you're gonna win matches, nice win the ball there. Ooh, Martinez, nice through ball to Kyoto, and Kyoto loses it. The guys like Kyoto and Elise. Ooh, Elise with a goal. They do, they're good finishers, and they're pacey. They kind of do what they do well, but I really would rather have guys that are a little more possession oriented. And these guys they're just not. Kyoto, Elise, they're not guys that you're gonna trust to hold the ball. They'll try and hold the ball themselves. But I want possession. Okay, I have faith in you. I need to think about what I want to do. obviously we control play. I don't want to overreact, but the tide was turning a little bit at the end of the half, so we're gonna kind of look and see. They're coming at us, and I'm not against going contain with this tactic. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. Contain for me, because of the way I have my tactic set up, is actually more like defend. It's more like being defensive, because I'm still pressing more. My back line is pushed up, so almost like contain. I mean, it's almost like defend. And I feel like Seattle probably is coming at me a little bit. You can look at there, and they've only got 2 guys on defend, so. Oh, Saren with a Seren. I've never been able to pronounce his name properly. That's not great for him to pick up a, I mean, at least he's not the number 6, but that's still. All right, Seattle gets a corner. Let's hold them out. Kind of got started thinking about subs. Seren might get pulled off. Boniek is a little tired, but I need him to get fit. So I don't want to sub him. If I'm going to sub him, he's going to be my last sub. Alright, so let's bring in Alexander. Play the number 8 role. He is a capable number 8. Ooh, shot wide. Seattle makes a sub. Now, I am going to go ahead and sub Boniek off. And probably I'm going to bring Gill on for Pena towards the end here. We can just hang on. This would be a great way to start the year. Okay, Pena heading off the field for Luis Gil. Gil at one time was a pretty big prospect for, well, I won't say big, but we had hopes for Gil to develop, but he's never really kind of caught on. Started with Real Salt Lake, with Jason Christ was there. I don't like highlights that started the 89th minute when I have a 1-goal lead. But we're building something. Martinez, nice to Kyoto. Oh, I've got my guys really defensive mentality right now. Nice ball to Martinez, shot wide. 30 seconds. 30 seconds to 3 points. Martinez, what are you trying to chip the keeper? All right. 1 down, 1 in the books. Nice win for the Dynamo. And we start off the year. The big home win against Seattle. I really try to win my home matches. I feel like if you win all your home games, in MLS, that's 51 points, I think. And so that is pretty close to what you're going to need to make the playoffs. Okay, so do this interview. Tremendously versatile, whatever. Cites his top quality, which really he's not. That's a lie. But sometimes you got to lie to the press, right? You're not going to tell the press the absolute truth. You got to do a little coach speak. Well, I didn't even realize that, but Seattle did not get 1 shot on target. That's good. I don't mind them taking a bunch of hopeful shots from distance. You know, if I'm going to lose, that's how I want to lose. I don't want to lose with them having a bunch of point blank shots. So yeah, just sort of thing he's capable of. All right, One thing I do like to do, I go to my schedule and check out my team ratings, and I find one of the guys who did the best, which Peña and Kyoto, De La Garza. I always go in and do some interaction, right? And I'm especially going to do that with a brand new player that I just brought in to kind of help his help him settle in for me, right? So praise the last game, superb in the quality of chances. Sometimes they don't react well, but I would rather put forth the effort and get the occasional bad response than for guys to become alienated because I never interact with them. So again, it's just about using all the different facets of the game to help you succeed. And so I'm trying to build a club here, trying to build a mega club that's going to be successful for years. And part of that, is going to be the culture that you create at the club. And I want to have a culture where, I interact with the guys. So, all right. So, looking at the standings for now, Western Conference, obviously, we got a big log jam at the top. We'll go ahead and just look at the stages. Yeah, 3 points, just like 4 other clubs. Portland, Colorado, the Galaxy, Sporting Kansas City, all won. So the season begins. I will look at my schedule. We'll try to figure out when we're going to reconvene. I might. Well, maybe we'll do this FC Dallas game. FC Dallas is our rival. This is kind of our derby. It's a little different, in Europe. Your derby opponent is this teams from the same city, but in the United States, we're it's such a big country, and there's not, for us, derbies are sometimes teams that are close, right? So FC Dallas and Houston we're both in Texas, so this is kind of the Texas derby. We call it a state derby. So it's one of the older, it's one of the big rivalries in MLS, and FM has recreated that, and they actually added a rivalry competition where the results from the season are factored into that. And if you have, it works kind of just like it does in real life. Whoever has the best results in the derby wins the trophy, which in the Texas derby, it's the El Capitan Cannon. So that will be when the next time we meet is the FC Dallas derby. So this is Uncle Sam. If you have any questions, suggestions, recommendations, maybe you've got some tips, maybe you see something terrible with my tactic or my philosophy, please post something in the comments to let me know. I like criticism. I like to improve. I'm always looking to do something better, and so I don't mind if you want to criticize me. So this is Uncle Sam signing off. I will see you next time.